The emptiness you feel is not the absence of something external, but the space waiting for your true self to emerge. Look within yourself, deeper, beyond the noise of your thoughts. What do you find there? Many discover a void, a persistent emptiness that follows them through each accomplishment, each relationship, each moment of fleeting joy. But here is the paradox that will transform your understanding. This emptiness you feel is not your enemy, it is your greatest teacher. The void you sense, that hollow feeling that wakes you at night, is not a sign that something is missing from your life. It is a sign that you are finally ready to discover what has been there all along. Most people run from emptiness. They fill every moment with noise, distraction, acquisition. You are not most people. You are here because you sense a deeper truth. Think of a vessel. Its usefulness comes not from its material, but from the emptiness it contains. A cup serves no purpose if it is already filled. Your emptiness is your potential. Society has convinced you that emptiness is a disease to be cured through constant consumption. Buy this, achieve that, accumulate more. Look around you. People moving faster, reaching further, grasping tighter. Yet the emptiness persists, it deepens. Why? Three forces create this modern plague of emptiness. First, disconnection from inner silence. When did you last sit in complete silence? No phone, no music, no voices, not even your own thoughts demanding attention. This disconnection from silence creates a void you try to fill with noise. Second, the illusion of digital connection. Your eyes meet a screen more often than they meet another's gaze. Your fingers type messages more often than they touch another's hand. This is not connection, it is its shadow, and shadows cannot fill the vessel of your being. Third, the trance of constant doing. From the moment you wake, you are doing, planning, achieving. The ancient wisdom knows human being, not human doing. You have forgotten how to simply be. These three forces, disconnection from silence, digital shadows of real connection, and the trance of constant doing, have created a vacuum within. And what happens in a vacuum? Anything will rush in to fill it. Anxiety rushes in, comparison rushes in, doubt rushes in. These are not your natural state. They are merely what fills the space when you run from emptiness. Imagine a thirsty man drinking salt water. Each sip increases his thirst. This is the way of external fulfillment. Most people believe when I achieve X, I will feel complete. When I acquire Y, the emptiness will disappear. When person Z loves me, I will be whole. These are illusions, powerful illusions. Let me ask you, has any achievement ever permanently filled your sense of emptiness? Has any possession ever completely satisfied your longing? Has any relationship ever perfectly completed you? The path of external fulfillment is endless. It has no destination. It is like trying to fill a broken vessel. The water always leaks out. You must repair the vessel first. Consider three common illusions of external fulfillment. First illusion, achievement as identity. Society teaches you are what you accomplish. Your value is in your productivity. This creates a cycle of striving without a rival. Each summit reveals another mountain. There is no peace in this cycle. Only temporary relief followed by renewed emptiness. Second illusion, possession as fulfillment. The moment of acquisition brings a flash of satisfaction. Then adaptation occurs. What was special becomes normal. The emptiness returns, often deeper than before. Third illusion, relationship as completion. You complete me. These words from cultural stories plant a dangerous seed. No person can fill your emptiness. This burden crushes relationships. True connection occurs between two whole beings, not two halves seeking completion. These illusions, achievement as identity, possession as fulfillment, relationship as completion, they are not the path to wholeness, they are diversions. Think of a dog chasing its tail. The faster it spins, the more convinced it becomes that the prize is just one more turn away. Your pursuit of external fulfillment follows the same pattern. The emptiness persists because you have misunderstood its nature. You have been treating as an enemy what could be your greatest ally. Now we arrive at the first key insight that will transform your relationship with emptiness. Empty space is not nothing, it is possibility. In quantum physics, empty space teems with potential energy. Particles appear and disappear. Reality emerges from apparent nothingness. Your inner emptiness follows the same principle. Most people misinterpret emptiness as lack. They see a void to be filled. But what if emptiness is not lack but spaciousness, not absence but potential? Consider three perspectives that transform emptiness from enemy to ally. First perspective, emptiness as clarity. A cluttered mind cannot see truth. Like a muddy pond, it distorts everything it reflects. Emptiness is the clearing of this pond. It is the settling of the mud. In this clarity, you finally see your true nature. Second perspective, emptiness as freedom. When you are filled with opinions, judgments, certainties, there is no room for discovery. Emptiness creates space for new possibilities. The cup must be empty before it can receive fresh water. Third perspective, emptiness as presence. When you stop filling every moment with distraction, something remarkable happens. You discover presence, and in presence, emptiness reveals itself not as a void but as the foundation of all experience. These three perspectives, emptiness as clarity, as freedom, as presence, change everything. The void you have been running from becomes the space in which your authentic self emerges. Imagine a vast clear sky. Clouds come and go. Thoughts, emotions, sensations. But the sky itself remains untouched. This sky is your true nature. The emptiness you feel is not the absence of clouds. It is the recognition of the boundless sky that contains them. Most people spend their lives chasing clouds, trying to arrange them into pleasing patterns. You can choose a different path. You can become aware of the sky itself. This is the secret transformation. When you stop treating emptiness as an enemy to be conquered and start recognizing it as the space of pure potential, everything changes. Your emptiness is not a problem to solve. It is the solution you've been seeking. The ancient masters understood, form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. The value of a wheel lies in the empty space at its center. The usefulness of a house depends on the empty space within its walls. Your emptiness is not your weakness, it is your greatest strength. When you embrace emptiness, you create space for your authentic self to emerge. Not the self constructed from external expectations, not the self built from comparisons to others, but your essential nature, spacious, clear, and complete. Most people flee from emptiness into endless distraction. The warrior's path is different. The warrior faces emptiness directly, sits with it, befriends it, discovers its true nature. Think of your emptiness as fertile soil, not barren wasteland. In this soil, awareness grows, presence takes root. Your authentic self blossoms. 3 practices will help you begin this transformation. First, practice conscious observation of emptiness. When you feel that void within, do not immediately turn away. Turn toward it. Observe it with curiosity, not judgment. Where do you feel it in your body? What qualities does it have? This simple observation begins to transform its nature. Second practice, breathing into space. When emptiness arises, breathe directly into it. Inhale, and imagine your breath flowing into every corner of that void. Exhale and feel the space expanding, not contracting. This breath transforms absence into presence. Third practice, questioning the interpreter. When you feel empty, your mind becomes an interpreter, telling stories about what this emptiness means. I am broken. Something is wrong with me. I need something outside myself to feel whole. Question these interpretations. They are not truth. They are habits. These three practices: conscious observation, breathing into space, questioning the interpreter, begin the alchemical process of transformation. Emptiness becomes fullness. Void becomes potential. Absence becomes presence. The vessel of your being has always been whole. It is not emptiness that causes your suffering. It is your misunderstanding of emptiness. When you truly understand the nature of emptiness, you will never again fear the void within. You will recognize it as the womb of all possibility, the silent witness to your experience, the space in which your authentic life unfolds. Most people spend their entire lives running from emptiness, only to discover at the end that what they were running from was their own essence. You need not wait until the end. You can make this discovery now. Your emptiness is not your enemy. It is your teacher, your guide, your true nature. Embrace it, and you embrace yourself. Now let us move beyond understanding emptiness to transforming it into power. For the true warrior knows that emptiness is not just to be understood, it is to be harnessed as the source of all strength. Your emptiness is not your enemy, it is your teacher, your guide, your true nature. Embrace it, and you embrace yourself. Pause. The warrior knows that power comes not from conquest, but from stillness. Have you ever watched a predator before it strikes? This is your model. Pause. In the chaos of modern existence, you've been taught that power comes from constant motion, from noise, from visibility. A profound lie. True power resides in stillness. Pause. The second key insight awaits you now. Stillness is not the absence of movement, it is the source of all meaningful action. Pause. When water is disturbed, it cannot reflect clearly. When mind is agitated, it cannot perceive truth. When being is scattered, it cannot access power. Stillness changes everything. Pause. Consider the difference between reaction and response. Reaction springs from agitation. It is automatic, unconscious, often regretted. Response emerges from stillness. It is chosen, conscious, aligned with your deepest values. Most live their entire lives in reaction. Few discover the power of response. Pause. 3 aspects of stillness transform emptiness into power. First, physical stillness. Your body constantly signals your nervous system. When body moves without purpose, mind cannot find center. The warrior practices physical stillness until it becomes natural. Sit now. Feel your body's weight against the surface supporting you. Notice the impulse to fidget, to scratch, to shift position. These are not physical needs. They are habitual escapes from the present moment. Choose stillness, even for 30 seconds. In this choice, power begins to gather. Pause. Second, mental stillness. Your thoughts create constant turbulence. Like waves on water, they prevent you from seeing beneath the surface. Notice how thoughts pull you from the present into imagined futures or remembered pasts. Neither exists. Only this moment exists. Mental stillness does not mean absence of thought. It means thoughts no longer control your attention. You become the witness, not the captive. Pause. Third, emotional stillness. Emotions arise and fall like weather patterns. Most people become the weather. The warrior observes the weather. Feel an emotion without becoming it. Anger appears. You notice it. Sadness washes through. You witness it. This distance is not detachment. It is freedom. Pause. These 3 forms of stillness, Physical, mental, emotional create the vessel that transforms emptiness into power. Without stillness, power leaks away through unconscious movements, scattered thoughts, reactive emotions. With stillness, power accumulates, consolidates, becomes available for conscious use. Pause. Most people associate stillness with passivity, with weakness. The opposite is true. The stiller you become, the more powerful your actions, the quieter your mind, the clearer your perception, the steadier your emotions, the stronger your influence. Pause. Think of the difference between shallow breathing and deep breathing. Shallow breath fuels anxiety, reactivity, weakness. Deep breath fuels presence, response, power. Stillness is the deep breath of your entire being. Pause. 4 obstacles block your path to stillness. First obstacle, the addiction to stimulation. Your nervous system has adapted to constant input. Stillness feels uncomfortable, even threatening. This discomfort is not danger, it is withdrawal. Move through it. The discomfort dissolves as your system recalibrates to its natural state. Pause. Second obstacle, the habit of distraction. When uncomfortable emotions arise, you've learned to escape through distraction. Boredom appears. You reach for entertainment. Loneliness surfaces. You seek connection. Inadequacy emerges. You pursue achievement. The warrior's path requires facing these emotions directly. They lose their power when witnessed from stillness. Pause. Third obstacle, the fear of insignificance. Stillness confronts you with a primal fear. If I am not constantly doing, proving, achieving, do I matter? This fear drives much of human suffering. The truth waits on the other side. Your significance comes not from doing, but from being. Not from noise, but from the quality of your presence. Pause. Fourth obstacle, the momentum of habit. Your current patterns have momentum. They resist change. The mind knows only what it has experienced. It cannot imagine the power that waits beyond its current boundaries. Trust the wisdom of those who have walked this path before you. Stillness leads to power beyond imagination. Pause. These 4 obstacles: addiction to stimulation, habit of distraction, fear of insignificance, momentum of habit. They are not walls, they are thresholds. Each one crossed strengthens your resolve. Each one conquered deepens your power. Pause. Now we arrive at the third key insight. Conscious presence is the bridge between emptiness and power. Pause. What is conscious presence? Most people exist in a state of unconscious absence. Body is here, mind is elsewhere, attention is fragmented. Conscious presence reverses this pattern. Body is felt, mind is here, attention is unified. Pause. 3 dimensions of conscious presence await your mastery. First dimension, sensory presence. Your senses connect you directly to the present moment. Feel the weight of your body. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. Observe the play of light and shadow around you. Listen to the furthest sound you can detect. These sensory anchors pull you from abstraction into reality, from thought into experience. This is the foundation of presence. Pause. Second dimension, emotional presence. Emotions are energy in motion through your body. Most people either suppress emotions or become lost in them. The warrior takes a different approach. Feel fully, witness clearly, release completely. This emotional presence transforms reactive patterns into responsive power. Pause. Third dimension, awareness presence. Beyond senses, beyond emotions lies pure awareness. This is the witness that observes both outer world and inner experience. It does not judge. It does not interpret. It simply sees what is. In this seeing, reality reveals itself directly, not filtered through concepts, prejudices, expectations. Pure perception becomes available. Pause. These 3 dimensions, sensory presence, emotional presence, awareness presence, form the complete spectrum of conscious presence. Master them, and emptiness transforms into profound power. Pause. The difference between ordinary existence and the warrior's path is simple. Ordinary existence happens to you. The warrior's path happens through you. Conscious presence is what makes this difference possible. Pause. 7 practical techniques will transform your emptiness into power. First technique, the power. Before responding to any situation that triggers reaction, pause. 3 seconds minimum. Feel your feet on the ground. Take 1 conscious breath. This small space changes everything that follows. It breaks the chain of automatic reaction. It inserts conscious choice where habit once ruled. Practice the power. Pause 100 times daily and watch your life transform. Pause. Second technique, the body scan. 3 times daily. Direct your attention systematically through your body. Start at your feet. Notice sensations without judgment. Move slowly upward. Ankles, calves, knees, thighs. Continue through torso, hands, arms, shoulders, neck, face. This practice rebuilds the connection between awareness and physical existence. It returns you to the present moment when mind has wandered. Pause. Third technique, breath awareness. Your breath exists only now. It cannot exist in past or future. Follow 5 complete breaths without distraction. Feel the sensation of air at your nostrils. Notice the expansion and contraction of lungs. Observe the pause between exhale and inhale. When attention wanders, it will gently return to breath without judgment. This constructs the neural pathways of conscious presence. Pause. Fourth technique, emotional alchemy. When strong emotions arise, transform them through this process. Name the emotion precisely. This is frustration. This is disappointment. Locate it in your body. Where exactly do you feel it? Breathe directly into that location. Ask, what message does this emotion carry? Receive its wisdom without being consumed by its energy. This technique transforms emotional reactions from distractions into intelligence. Pause. Fifth technique, single-pointed focus. Select 1 ordinary activity daily. Washing dishes, walking, eating. Perform it with complete attention. Feel water temperature as you wash dishes. Notice the pressure of feet against ground as you walk. Experience texture and flavor fully as you eat. When mind wanders, return attention gently to the activity. This builds the muscle of presence in safe territory before applying it to challenges. Pause. Sixth technique, the witness practice. For 5 minutes daily. Observe your thoughts without engagement. Imagine sitting beside a stream, watching leaves float by. Each leaf is a thought. You don't reach for them. You don't push them away. You simply notice, thinking about work, planning tomorrow, remembering childhood. This practice separates your identity from thought content. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness observing them. Pause. Seventh technique, conscious completion. Before ending any activity, give it full attention for its final moments. Complete conversations consciously, rather than allowing them to trail off. Finish meals with awareness rather than abandoning them halfway. End work sessions with clear closure, rather than scattered attention. This practice prevents the bleeding of attention from one moment into the next. It clears the vessel of experience, allowing fresh presence to emerge. Pause. These 7 techniques, the power pause, body scan, breath awareness, emotional alchemy, single-pointed focus, witness practice, and conscious completion, they are not mere exercises. They are technologies of transformation, ancient in origin, validated by modern science, available to all who practice with sincerity. Pause. Now we turn to the wisdom of nature, which teaches through metaphor what concepts cannot convey. Pause. Consider the bamboo, rooted deeply yet completely flexible, empty at its core, yet structurally strong, bent by the storm, yet never broken. This is the model for your transformation. Your emptiness becomes your flexibility. Your stillness becomes your strength. Your conscious presence becomes your resilience. Pause or observe the eagle. It does not flap constantly in panic. It finds the thermal current and extends its wings. Power comes not from frantic effort, but from alignment with greater forces. This is your path as well. Cease your constant striving. Find the currents of natural energy. Extend your awareness into them. Let them carry you higher than effort alone ever could. Pause, study the mountain stream. It does not push against obstacles. It flows around them. Its power comes from surrender to gravity, not from struggle against it. When you encounter obstacles, remember the stream. Power flows through the path of least resistance, not through force, but through intelligent adaptation. Pause, watch the seasons change. Nature never rushes, never hesitates. Each transformation occurs precisely when conditions are right, not according to calendar or clock, but through attunement to reality. Your transformation follows the same principle. It cannot be forced, cannot be scheduled. It emerges when inner conditions align with outer action. Pause, these four teachers, bamboo, eagle, stream, and seasons. They speak a language older than words. Their wisdom enters not through intellect, but through recognition. Something within you already knows these truths. Pause, the warrior's understanding of power differs fundamentally from common perception. Most believe power means control over others, accumulation of resources, freedom from constraints. The warrior knows true power is mastery of self, presence in reality, freedom within constraints. Pause, three signs confirm your transformation from emptiness to power. First sign, decreasing reactivity. Events that once triggered automatic responses now encounter the space of conscious choice. Words that once wounded now meet the shield of perspective. Situations that once overwhelmed now face the stability of your presence. Pause, second sign. Increasing intuition. As stillness deepens, subtle perception awakens. You sense what remains unspoken. You notice what others overlook. You recognize patterns before they fully emerge. This is not mystical. It is natural. When mental noise decreases, reality speaks more clearly. Pause, third sign. Authentic action. Your actions no longer seek approval or avoid disapproval. They emerge from alignment with deeper values. They carry the force of undivided intention. They accomplish more with less effort. The power of wholeness replaces the stress of fragmentation. Pause, these three signs: decreasing reactivity, increasing intuition, authentic action. Verify that emptiness is transforming into power. Not power over others. Not power for ego. Power for service, power for growth, power for transformation. Pause, the path from emptiness to power follows four stages. First stage, recognition. You recognize the emptiness within not as failure, but as potential. You acknowledge the scattered nature of your attention. You accept the present reality without judgment. This honest seeing is the foundation of all transformation. Pause, second stage, reclamation. You reclaim attention from its habitual wandering. You gather energy wasted in unnecessary tension. You collect presence distributed across past and future. This gathering of forces creates the critical mass for change. Pause, third stage, redirection. You redirect attention consciously, rather than reactively. You channel energy purposefully, rather than randomly. You focus presence precisely rather than diffusely. This conscious direction builds new neural pathways. Pause, fourth stage, realization. You realize emptiness and power are not opposites but partners. You embody stillness and action as unified expression. You experience presence not as practice, but as natural state. This integration completes the warrior's transformation. Pause these 4 stages: recognition, reclamation, redirection, realization. They are not linear. You will cycle through them repeatedly, each passage deepening your capacity. The spiral path leads upward, returning to similar terrain at higher elevation. Pause, a warning stands before you now. The greatest threat to transformation is not failure, it is premature satisfaction. Many glimpse the possibility of this path, take a few steps, experience initial results, and stop. They settle for slight improvement when complete transformation awaits. Do not be among them. Pause. The emptiness you once fled now reveals itself as the source of all power. The stillness you once avoided now demonstrates itself as the foundation of all meaningful action. The presence you once ignored now emerges as the essence of your authentic being. Pause. You stand at the threshold between ordinary existence and the warrior's path. Ordinary existence accepts emptiness as inevitable suffering. The warrior transforms emptiness into boundless power. Ordinary existence fragments attention across countless distractions. The warrior unifies attention into singular presence. Ordinary existence reacts automatically to circumstance. The warrior responds consciously from inner stillness. Pause. The choice between these paths presents itself in every moment, not once, but thousands of times daily. Each choice builds momentum toward either fragmentation or wholeness. Pause. The warrior understands that transformation is both momentary and lifelong. It happens in an instant of complete presence. It deepens through decades of conscious practice. Both perspectives are simultaneously true. Pause. Your emptiness has never been your enemy. Your stillness has never been your weakness. Your presence has never been absent. Only your perception needed transformation. Pause. Now we move beyond the warrior's path of transforming emptiness into power, into the awakened mind that lives from wholeness rather than seeking it. For the ultimate realization awaits. You are not the seeker. You are what is sought. Pause. Now we move beyond the warrior's path of transforming emptiness into power, into the awakened mind that lives from wholeness rather than seeking it. For the ultimate realization awaits. You are not the seeker. You are what is sought. Pause. The 4th key insight reveals itself. Integration is not something you do. It is something you allow. Pause. What fragments have you been trying to reconnect? The mind that analyzes, the heart that feels, the body that experiences, the spirit that knows. These were never truly separate. Your perception divided what reality united. Pause. Integration happens not through effort, but through recognition. When you cease maintaining artificial divisions, wholeness naturally emerges. This is the paradox of awakening. Pause. 3 illusions prevent this recognition. First illusion, the separate self. From earliest childhood, you were taught, this is me, that is not me. This boundary, essential for physical survival, was mistaken for ultimate truth. The awakened mind sees differently. Where does your breath end and the atmosphere begin? Where does your thought end and culture begin? Where does your body end and nature begin? These boundaries exist as practical conventions, not absolute realities. Pause. Second illusion. Time as linear sequence. You perceive time as past, present, future, flowing in one direction. This perception creates the seeker who moves through time toward awakening. But awakening exists outside linear time. It is not an event that happens to you. It is the recognition of what has always been true. The present moment is not a point between past and future. It is the only reality in which past and future appear as concepts. Pause. Third illusion. Awakening as achievement. Many spiritual seekers transform awakening into another acquisition, another credential, another identity, another possession. This fundamentally misunderstands its nature. Awakening is not addition, it is subtraction, not gaining something new, but recognizing what was never absent, not climbing to a peak, but realizing you stand on solid ground. Pause. These three illusions separate self, linear time, awakening as achievement. They construct the maze in which seekers wander. The awakened mind steps outside this maze entirely. Pause. Ordinary living and awakened living differ fundamentally in their relationship with reality. Ordinary living resists what is. Awakened living aligns with what is. Ordinary living fragments attention. Awakened living unifies awareness. Ordinary living seeks external validation. Awakened living recognizes inherent completeness. Ordinary living reacts from conditioning. Awakened living responds from clarity. Pause. 7 contrasts reveal the shift from ordinary to awakened living. First contrast, relationship with thought. Ordinary mind believes its thoughts without question. I think, therefore it is true. Awakened mind witnesses thoughts without identification. A thought appears. How interesting. This simple shift transforms suffering into freedom. Pause. Second contrast. Approach to discomfort. Ordinary mind flees discomfort automatically. Physical pain, emotional distress, uncertainty, all trigger immediate escape. Awakened mind meets discomfort with presence, not seeking it, not avoiding it, simply meeting it directly. This transforms reactivity into responsiveness. Pause. Third contrast. Sense of identity. Ordinary mind derives identity from comparison. Better than some, worse than others, equal to few, constantly insecure because comparison has no end. Awakened mind recognizes identity beyond comparison, not superior, not inferior, not even equal, simply authentic, uniquely expressed, inherently complete. This transforms insecurity into groundedness. Pause. Fourth contrast. Relationship with change. Ordinary mind resists impermanence, clings to pleasure, rejects pain, fears transformation, creates suffering through attachment to what cannot last. Awakened mind flows with impermanence, enjoys pleasure fully, experiences pain directly, welcomes transformation, finds peace in alignment with natural law. This transforms resistance into harmony. Pause. Fifth contrast. Source of meaning. Ordinary mind seeks meaning externally, in achievement, in recognition, in comparison, always vulnerable to loss of external reference. Awakened mind discovers meaning internally, in presence, in connection, in expression of essence, independent of external validation or circumstance. This transforms insatiable hunger into natural fulfillment. Pause. Sixth contrast. Relationship with others. Ordinary mind sees others as separate entities, to be used, to be feared, to be impressed, creating endless cycles of manipulation and defense. Awakened mind recognizes others as different expressions of shared being, to be met, to be understood, to be appreciated, creating possibility for authentic connection. This transforms isolation into belonging. Pause. Seventh contrast. Approach to purpose. Ordinary mind treats purpose as future achievement. Someday I will find my purpose. Then fulfillment will arrive. Awakened mind embodies purpose as present expression. My purpose manifests now through quality of presence. This transforms endless seeking into immediate fulfillment. Pause. These 7 contrasts. In relationship with thought, approach to discomfort, sense of identity, relationship with change, source of meaning, relationship with others, and approach to purpose. They reveal the profound difference between ordinary and awakened living, not as judgment, but as invitation. Pause. The transition from ordinary to awakened living requires no distant pilgrimage, no special knowledge, no secret technique, no years of practice. It requires only clear seeing of what is already present. Pause. What prevents this seeing? Not lack of intelligence, not insufficient effort, not inadequate information, only habits of perception so familiar they have become invisible. Pause. 5 daily practices support the recognition of your inherent wholeness. First, practice conscious attention placement. Most attention flows unconsciously, directed by habit and conditioning. The awakened mind places attention consciously, like a master painter, choosing precisely where to apply each brushstroke, like a master musician, choosing exactly when to sound each note. Begin each day with this question: where will I place my attention today? This practice transforms unconscious reactivity into conscious choice. Pause. Second practice: inquiry into identity. Throughout the day, pause and ask, who am I in this moment? What within me is aware of this experience? What remains unchanged as sensations, thoughts, and emotions come and go? Don't answer conceptually. Look directly at your experience. This practice dissolves identification with temporary phenomena. Pause. Third practice: reality acknowledgement. When resistance arises, and it will acknowledge reality exactly as it is, not as you wish it were, not as you fear it might become, exactly as it appears now. Say silently or aloud, this is what is happening now. This practice releases the enormous energy wasted in denying reality. Pause. Fourth practice: body wisdom consultation. Before important decisions, consult your body's wisdom. Mental analysis alone is insufficient. Emotional reaction alone is unreliable. The integrated intelligence of your entire system offers deeper guidance. Ask your question. Then feel the response in your body: expansive, open, energized, or contracted, tight, depleted. Trust this intelligence that operates below conscious thought. This practice accesses wisdom beyond conceptual understanding. Pause. Fifth practice: gratitude contemplation. End each day with conscious recognition of what you have received, not generic platitudes. Specific acknowledgements. Today I received the gift of clean water. Today I received the insight that arose in conversation. Today I received the support of my body's countless functions. This practice transforms perception from scarcity to abundance. Pause. These 5 practices: conscious attention placement, inquiry into identity, reality acknowledgement, body wisdom consultation, and gratitude contemplation. They create conditions favorable for recognizing your inherent wholeness, not as techniques that produce awakening, but as invitations that reveal what is already true. Pause. 4 signs confirm the awakening of your mind. First sign: decreasing self-preoccupation. The question, how am I doing, appears less frequently. Comparison with others loses its compelling force. Defensive self-justification diminishes naturally. This releases enormous energy previously consumed by self-concern. Pause. Second sign: increasing spaciousness around difficulty. Problems still arise, pain still appears, challenges still emerge, but they no longer completely identify with them. They now occur within a larger context of awareness, like storm clouds in vast sky, present but not defining. This transforms overwhelming difficulty into workable challenge. Pause. Third sign: natural compassion. Compassion emerges not as moral obligation but as natural response. When separation dissolves, others' suffering becomes as real as your own, not through effort, not through should, but through recognition of shared being. This transforms spiritual practice from self-improvement to service. Pause. Fourth sign: present sufficiency. The sense that something is missing gradually dissolves, not because all desires are fulfilled, but because presence itself is recognized as the fulfillment sought through all desires. This transforms endless seeking into natural contentment. Pause. These four signs: decreasing self-preoccupation, increasing spaciousness around difficulty, natural compassion, and present sufficiency, they confirm the natural emergence of your awakened mind. Not an achievement to boast about, simply the recognition of what has always been true. Pause. 3 challenges appear on this path of integration. First challenge: spiritual bypassing. The temptation to use spiritual concepts to avoid painful emotions or difficult truths. Everything is perfect as it is becomes excuse for inaction. It's all illusion, anyway, becomes avoidance of necessary growth. We are all one becomes denial of genuine differences. The integrated being acknowledges both transcendent truth and immediate reality, both formless awareness and particular form, both timeless being and temporal becoming. Pause. Second challenge: premature teaching. The ego easily co-opts spiritual realization for self-aggrandizement. Teaching others becomes subtly motivated by desire for special status. Concepts are transmitted before they are fully embodied. Words flow easily while actions lag behind. The integrated being allows realization to ripen fully before offering its fruits to others. Teaching emerges from overflow, not from need. Authority comes from embodiment, not from knowledge. Pause. Third challenge: abandonment of ordinary responsibilities. Awakening can be misinterpreted as license to ignore practical demands of existence. I'm too spiritual for mundane concerns. The enlightened being is beyond conventional morality. Rules are for the unawakened. The integrated being brings awakened presence precisely into ordinary life, paying bills with full attention, fulfilling commitments with integrity, meeting obligations with conscious choice. Pause. These 3 challenges: spiritual bypassing, premature teaching, and abandonment of ordinary responsibilities. They test the authenticity of your integration, not as punishment, but as refinement, not as failure, but as opportunity for deeper embodiment. Pause. The greatest secret of awakening is its ordinariness. Not exotic experiences, not special states, not mysterious powers, simply clear seeing of what is already present. Pause. 3 qualities characterize the integrated self. First quality: simplicity. The awakened mind functions with remarkable simplicity, not simplistic, not naive, not limited, but free from unnecessary complexity created by ego's endless strategizing. Decision-making becomes straightforward. Actions emerge from clear values rather than conflicting motives. Life direction follows natural authenticity rather than social expectation. This simplicity resembles the directness of nature itself. Pause. Second quality: humor. The awakened mind perceives the cosmic joke at the core of human experience. The seeker desperately searching for what was never lost. The small self taking itself so seriously. The elaborate strategies to acquire what is already present. This humor brings lightness to the spiritual path, not dismissing suffering, but recognizing its context in a larger perspective, not mocking sincerity, but puncturing pretension. This humor transforms heaviness into buoyancy. Pause. Third quality: ordinariness. The awakened mind expresses itself through completely ordinary activities. Eating when hungry, sleeping when tired, responding when addressed. Yet it brings extraordinary quality of presence to these ordinary acts. Full attention to the taste of food. Complete surrender to the act of sleeping. Total receptivity to the communication of others. This ordinariness transforms mundane existence into continuous ceremony. Pause these three qualities: simplicity, humor, and ordinariness. They characterize the natural expression of your integrated self. Not personality traits to acquire, but natural manifestations of clear seeing. Pause. 5 paradoxes illuminate the awakened mind. First paradox: effort and effortlessness. The path requires tremendous effort until you realize effort itself was the obstacle. Like struggling to swim upstream until you recognize you can simply float downstream. This transforms spiritual practice from striving to allowing. Pause. Second paradox: knowledge and not knowing. The path involves acquiring knowledge until you realize knowledge itself was the barrier. Concepts about awakening eventually obstruct direct experience of awakening. This transforms spiritual seeking from accumulation to emptying. Pause. Third paradox: individual and universal. The path involves developing the individual until you realize individuality itself was the limitation. Yet this realization expresses uniquely through each individual form. This transforms identity from isolated fragment to unique expression of wholeness. Pause. Forms. Fourth paradox: being and becoming. The path involves becoming better until you realize being itself was the destination. Yet this being expresses through constant becoming. This transforms growth from rejection of present reality to expression of inherent potential. Pause. Fifth paradox: awakening and ordinariness. The path involves seeking extraordinary awakening until you realize ordinary experience itself was the goal. The most profound realization: exactly this is it. This transforms spirituality from exotic pursuit to direct relationship with reality. Pause. These 5 paradoxes: effort and effortlessness, knowledge and not knowing, individual and universal, being and becoming, awakening and ordinariness. They illuminate the non-conceptual nature of your awakened mind, not contradictions to resolve, but complementary perspectives to embrace simultaneously. Pause. The integration you seek is not waiting in some distant future. It exists now as the ground of your being. Your emptiness has always been fullness misperceived. Your fragmentation has always been wholeness overlooked. Your seeking has always been the found searching for itself. Pause. Remember how we began this journey. With the recognition that the emptiness you feel is not the absence of something external, but the space waiting for your true self to emerge. Now you understand your true self was never absent. The emptiness was not empty. It was pregnant with possibility, waiting not for something new to enter, but for clear seeing of what was always present. Pause. The vessel of your being has always been whole. What appeared as emptiness was simply space free from obstruction. What seemed like fragmentation was merely the play of form within formlessness. What felt like separation was only the temporary forgetting of inherent connection. Pause. You have not gained anything on this journey. You have only lost what prevented you from recognizing what was always yours. Like clouds dispersing to reveal the sky that was never absent. Like mud settling to unveil the clarity that was never disturbed. Like a fist opening to discover the hand that was never lost. Pause. Most people live their entire lives searching outside themselves for what can only be found within. They accumulate possessions, achievements, relationships, seeking in them what they already are. You need not continue this fruitless search. Pause. The emptiness you once feared now reveals itself as boundless space in which all experience arises. The stillness you once avoided now demonstrates itself as the ground of all meaningful action. The presence you once ignored now emerges as the essence of your authentic being. Pause. 3 instructions remain. First instruction: trust your direct experience. Not concepts about reality, not authorities describing reality, not techniques promising reality. Your direct, unfiltered experience reveals truth that concepts can only point toward. Pause. Second instruction: start where you are, not where you think you should be, not where others expect you to be, not where you hope someday to be. This exact moment, with its particular conditions, contains everything needed for awakening. Pause. Third instruction: remember what matters. At the end of life, what will truly matter? Not accumulation, not achievement, not approval, but presence, connection, authenticity, the quality of attention you brought to each moment, the love you expressed through ordinary acts, the truth you embodied in daily choices. Pause. These 3 instructions: trust your direct experience, start where you are, remember what matters. They provide orientation when confusion arises. Not rigid rules, but reliable guideposts. Not external authority, but internal wisdom. Pause. The emptiness you feel is not the absence of something external, but the space waiting for your true self to emerge. And now you know, your true self has already emerged. It was never absent. It was merely overlooked in the search for something more special, more extraordinary than this breath, than this sensation, than this awareness. Pause. The vessel of your being has always been whole. Its emptiness is its capacity to contain all experience without being defined by any experience. Its stillness is its ability to witness all movement without being disturbed by any movement. Its presence is its nature, as the knowing in which all that is known appears. Pause. You have come full circle. From misperceiving emptiness as lack to recognizing emptiness as potential, to transforming emptiness into power, to discovering emptiness as your true nature. Pause. This recognition does not end your journey. It begins your authentic life. For awakening is not the destination. It is the dawn that illuminates the path ahead. Pause. Walk this path with simplicity. Meet each moment with presence. Express your nature with authenticity. This is enough. This has always been enough. This will forever be enough. Pause.